Welcome back to the CCL. I'm Corn. With me is Cash. Number 15 versus number 23. A top 25 CCL showdown here in the first week of our top and bottom cuts. Both of these teams still undefeated here inside of the CCL season. For CSP, they haven't dropped a single map throughout the entire year. They're looking for higher competition. For SIUE, they've only dropped one hard point. So teams pretty much, again, undefeated across the board in all maps and modes combined. But there is one blemish on the side of SIUE.
The blemish that we have on SIUE, like you said, was a hard point loss to Keanu, and that was, I believe, still a sub 15-point loss. So it was down to the wire. It was a Hacienda as well, but like you said, almost at that point can call it blemish free. There's a map that, you know, they've gone over, done their work, and make sure they're not going to let that slip up again. Just a couple breakdowns in the final moments. I believe it was even a P4 rotation where they just couldn't get the rotation set up in time before the break. And yeah, looking at either of these teams, nothing on paper that looks telling of which way this series could go, Alex.
Yeah, not at all. Last week, we did get the pleasure of watching CSP on the main broadcast. They played up against the Nebraska Cornhuskers. We watched Jakers and Aspect, the SMG duo for CSP, absolutely annihilate what was Nebraska's SMG force on the opposite end. It was not a close series whatsoever. They look very good. The Golden Bears are frying throughout the CCL season so far. You also look to the ARs on that roster, too, with Bala and Cozy. They've duoed quite nicely. Bala, a mainstay name, as we mentioned a lot next week, so I'm not going to beat that dead horse into the ground yet. We will probably in the series when we start to watch them. Maps and modes for our best of 5 here that we have. We'll start off on a Skyline, the bang out map that everybody knows and loves. We'll go to a Hacienda for Search and Destroy, and a Vault Control round out our 3 guaranteed maps with a red card and a Skyline slipping through for those final 5.
I'm excited for the Hacienda Search and Destroy. It's not too often you see that slip through in the early portions of a series. You see Vault, Skyline a lot, so I'm excited to see, a Skyline to kick it off, but again, I'm going to put a pin in that Hacienda Search and Destroy and kind of see what teams have good reps, have meaningful reps here. On that second Search and Destroy that we have, Skyline kicking things off. You talked about the submachine gun force that is what the Golden Bears bring to the docket, and I'm excited to see where they look to tear and pick apart this SIUE Esports team. But the Cougars, they're not going to go quietly either. They have forces of their own that they're going to go toe-to-toe with. It's going to be a battle from start to finish.
It absolutely will be, and I think the one person we have to just kind of pin out immediately, somebody who, again, has been a mainstay staple for SIUE inside of the CCL, we look to D-Day immediately. SIUE has been a roster that has been in the conversation of the top 25. They have been in winning situations. They have been there in the postseason and previous seasons, and it has been fun to watch this team year in and year out. Roster changes be damned, they're still a good team, and they're not going to falter so early in the season. So this should be a good and fun best-of-5 series, and as we've said time and time again here on the broadcast, numbers, they can say a lot, but they can also mean nothing at the same time once we get into the match. It all depends on individual player matchups. So that's why I'm kind of keying in once again on that SMG battle, right? Last week, it was kind of the talk early in the pre-show that we had against CSP in Nebraska. It was, could Nebraska stick to that game plan of being able to shut down Jakers and Aspect? Obviously, the answer in that best-of-5 series, as we saw, was no. SIUE will look to do the same here, but I do think that D-Day on that AR role, along with the rest of the team, that's going to be also a decisive factor for that roster going up against the Golden Bears.
And I think it's something you look to him to slow down the pressure and the line that the submachine guns are going to try to push pace with for the Golden Bears. Your ARs, sure, you want your subs to go toe-to-toe, and you think that that'll kind of be the battle, but the ARs play a part in kind of slowing down that line that likes to push forward, whether it be across the map for a rotation or into a hill to break. So D-Day's going to have a massive role leading this team. Those veteran players are going to be who you lean on in order to get that done, and it's ARs on one side for SIUE and it's submachine guns on the other end for the Golden Bears.
It absolutely is. Talking about this Skyline hardpoint to kick things off here, both teams have played this within the regular season of the CCL here so far. CSP are a little bit more practiced on it. They are 3-0 on the map from start to finish here up until week 6. On the opposite end for SIUE, they've only played it one time. This does feel like a map that does favor a team like CSP that has those aggressive SMGs that are going to be able to press up the map and give you the early positioning, especially on a rotation or a good break into P2 or P4. But talking about SIUE, the struggle hasn't been really in hardpoint across the board. Yes, they've lost one to Keanu, but you can kind of take it or leave it when you talk about a 15, 16 point loss to that Keanu roster. That is still a decent top team inside of the CCL, so it's not like they were losing to a team that they really should have beaten across the board, although they did go on to win that 3-1. Just talking about kind of some of the other matches that have been played so far, these teams haven't faced up against each other here in the Midwest. But as the season continues to go forward, I have a feeling these teams are going to see each other again. These are two teams that we could very much see at the end of the season playing for a conference championship, or at least, playing that semifinal, quarterfinal round. So these teams are going to be there at the end of the year. This is going to feel good, though, as kind of like that first ego match to get them started.
Especially a good top 25 matchup. And again, SIUE being fringe top 25, you can't say whether they lose this series if that's the case, whether they bounce out in a sense, depending on performances around them. But it's one where you would expect both these teams to stay top 25 as the year goes on, even if numbers shift around and one may be a bubble team for a second. Both of these teams, like you said, you expect to see a long season between them, and looking forward even beyond this series to continuous matchups. We haven't even dived into it just yet, but again, you can just tell the buzz around it with how good these players are, with what the records look like coming in. Even if it ends up being a 3-0 either way, Alex, I cannot see it being a blowout on either side of things. Of course, on the desk, we're hoping it's a close competition from start to finish, and the Skyline Hardpoint definitely going to cater those subs we've been talking about up until this point.
Absolutely. Both, again, teams undefeated here inside of the season so far. SIUE, the underdog in terms of ranking overall in the top 25. Probably the most anticipated matchup that we have here on the Monday slate for week 6 of the CCL season. We'll kick things off. Frag opening from D-Day. It's going to be 2 kills off the rip for SIUE, but on the opposite end, the Golden Bears will be the first ones to touch. SMGs in the hill. Gunfights are there. Sin will stay down with 13 HP.
Wipe comes in, and the crossover to Gem. The comms are clean, so Sin's going to clean up one. Now they know the spawns are coming in P4 side. It's a matter of getting those irons forward, but on the bottom side of the map, you're trying to get that coverage, playing kitchen and watching the cross, just to cover your player time. Jaker is going to try to make moves for that, but you don't have the kitchen battle. You do have the time for now, so a nearly tied game still. Just under half left before we look to P2. And for the moment, you are content if you're CSP holding this time. Now you can see the submachine guns and Bala starting to move forward. What timing?
Good stuff from Bala. Makes the read from the hard point, gets the time, helps the team push that aggression forward, and they get the map flipped out for P2 spawns. Beautiful from CSP in the early goings here of map 1. Aspect will stay down, looking for the final 3 seconds to scrap. The push from the bottom of the bedroom starting to make its way forward, but the kill feed blue. 5 in a row here from Bala to kick things off, and we said he might be the one to look for. Early on going here, absolutely is.
That may find through the back, also going to connect out the sliding door plat. That trade's going to come in quickly out of Jakers, but it's 2 for 1 in the feed, but just no presence. Those kills are coming from across the map, so you still have to march forward, still take a few more gunfights to clear things out. This kill, that kill, you should be able to be spawned if you continue to push forward here in a moment, and you're going to collect a couple. Now you see spawning deep P4. Spawning grass is going to be CSP for the moment. It shouldn't be in momentarily, but you got to clean up these kills. It's a 50-point lead.
Good pinch in. What a break from the Cougars. Both the ARs wrapped through the kitchen. SMG sent down low. You get through the backside of spawn, but here comes Aspect trying to reflank what was the hit from SIUE just a few moments ago. Aspect in, slides for the second. Great snaps. 40-point lead and continuing to grow. The scrap time here could go their way, and as Bala is there for the final trade, it's all going to be about P3 control in the kitchen. You got one player setting up on the cross, watching from P1. Look for CH to be an annoyance for CSP on their breakback.
And these comms just need to tighten up a little bit for SIUE early on. Maybe some jitters coming into it, but they're missing a couple of timings where they should be able to collect and clean up these kills. And on the flank, Aspect going to wreak havoc once again. The call needs to come in. A player needs to turn as now the pinch is developing.
Oh, he's just gotten through so many times. Stun check out over on the right-hand side. Has a grenade to work with here. Pushes in. Basically uncontested for the first few moments, but Sin on a nice slide challenge back will be able to get 1 for the red. Blue side pushing on their way back in. 2-1 the gunfights go. It's a pinstripe kill feed, allowing them to still hit this hill out if you are CSP. 35 seconds left. Tons of time to play for. Jakers will stay down, and it's all blue in the kill feed now as they're going to be back on the respawn.
We talked the Bala, we talked the D-Day matchup between these ARs, and right now with the 2.0 KD Bala having a quiet takeover map early on, as they're now out to 90 points here in this first set of rotations. They still have 1 hill left to go. Where they've gotten set up, they've been able to lock it down. The Cougars having no answers at the moment for a break, at least for any time that's meaningful for them. They don't quite have rotation. Again, just waiting in these moments to clean up some big kills, and they're able to get these breaks. They just aren't able to find the meaningful ones to allow them an opening.
I don't think CH recognized that they were all going to spawn back P4. So as Cozy gets a drop down onto 1, he's going to spot the second out towards the closet, and he's able to find 2 early on here inside of P4. But in the back line, it's going to be close spawns from SIUE. So it actually works out for them favorably as they push in towards the point. Possession in for a moment. SMG up front. 2 kills go the way of Cozy, and you're trying to find the last one. Aspect, big 1v1 for the time. He'll win it. 40 seconds to play for here. Over the 100-point mark now is at CSP. They've got a 50-point now, make it 60 advantage. They're keeping them out the front.
With Aspect to the back once again, able to find a big 2-piece just to get the re-break. Still with 30 seconds to fight for. The Cougars have to continue to press for this one. They need to keep mid-map control. They'd like to keep the left-hand side once you're looking ahead towards these next couple of hills. But for now, they cannot let this go freely. They need to even get a little bit just to give themselves a little boost going into the next set of rotations. You don't want to be down 100 points going into new.
Cozy dropped down from top bed once again. Watching the crossover from kitchen, Sin gets the best of timing. They're trying to set up for middle map right now is SIUE. They might try to push this back end one more time. Aspect will clean it up 2 in a row for him at the moment. Top bridge control from D-Day going to be able to lock things down. So nothing up top right now for CSP. AR's forced to the back end. They're actually going to spawn behind him P2 though. I have no clue that this is coming through. Jakers, Baller, going to be able to find 2. Another one over back towards P1. Kitchen control trying to get locked down. That's that's just a wipe off the map right there. Favorable spawn, sure, but I mean...
Yeah, to clean up work, and those are just the landslide kills, the landslide moments that Cougars have not been able to find. They haven't been able to capitalize on. They've been in those situations, but they haven't been able to make the most of it time and time again. They get favorable spawns. They can't get the cleanup. Jakers maybe going to make things a little easier as he takes a little dive off the map. The time being collected for a moment for the Cougars, but again, it's just coming down to 1v1s, critical moments. Not being able to walk away with, and as you can see by the slaying, it is handedly favoring CSP. Now as rotation's underway, you're in a good spot, but again, it comes down to winning these kills on that bottom side of the map.
Was a big 1v. Kill in the back end on Aspect is going to allow those spawns to stay for P2. So the Cougar, full control of that left side of the map. Pushing the top cat, Jakers is going to open up with 1. Slow start for him here. With Ball on the opposite end, continuing. Might be able to break on in here. Checks out to the right side. Slide challenge isn't going to read D-Day, who's laying down on the floor. Sin will escape back over towards top white stairs. He's going to look the kitchen push. All the while, somebody's pushing up through ropes, and you don't get the call out from top cat. So it's a break-in from CSP. They're trying to hold it now. Contested time, 35 seconds left. Only 2 players remaining here from SIUE. It's a dodge across the map. Spawns close for the Golden Bears.
1v1 here to re-enter the hill quickly, and without the reinforcements coming into CSP spawns, like you said, get a little mixy. They start flipping for the moment, but this is the most significant time that the Cougars have found here in quite some time. So now they cut the deficit to what is a full 60, and of course P3 is going to be a challenging when they get that off, but as this team is finding their footing, they still have plenty of time, Alex, in this one to get back in.
Oh, Sin, challenge close. Jakers walks it. Final 4 seconds will go their way. 70-point differential. SIUE get good time off the back end of P2, and now the rotation on to P3. It's a 1 versus 1. Gunfight here. Sin tries to win it and will with the SMG. Cozy on P1 watching the cross. Gonna slide challenge with the rest of his teammates there. Off the spawn, they come from the hedges side. It's flips all across the map. There's 3 different angles that they need to be watching for. Aspect wins a huge 1v1 over by the hedges. Everybody else for the side of CSP winning gunfights around the hill. And once again, it's all going to come down to a 1v1 for the time here. Aspect stops shooting, goes to re-challenge. He's got help from the middle of the map as well.
3 in the feed. Only player left up is going to be Dolan, and he's just trying to do a little dance around fireplace, able to at least try to slide out, get some kind of damage dealt, but no teammate reinforcement coming in just yet. Now, the wise play coming in on Cozy, the AR going to back up. He's also got all of the AR watching the P1 cross. You are in every spot you want to be, in every spot you need to be in here. They're looking to try to put this one away.
Oh, the P1 cross, so difficult to deal with. And as Bala keeps tagging a few as they cross through, it's his teammate and Cozy that helps out as well. And as he drops down on 4 in a row, potentially looking for a hellstorm here in the late game. Still pretty sizable lead for the Golden Bears. Dolan gonna get sniffed out. Stun check back the opposite way. First kill goes to CSP. Dolan slide chow out. Wise play back from Cozy to dip to the staircase. Safe harbor, 35 HP. You look back over towards the left. The top is cleared out. SIUE have to break in through the front here. Hip fire like kill on the tub. CH the last one alive. He's still got teammates here. They should be able to go ahead and block these spawns out, and he pops a double 4 in a row. SIUE in.
They bought themselves time, at least 10 or 15 seconds, and again, Dolan's the one you want to fly forward, make these players slow down on this initial push, but it's coming again quickly out.
Oh, the drop down. Dolan's still trying to watch the front. Game not over just yet. 24 big seconds to walk away with here. If you can, it's all red in the kill feed. The last one killed over by Hedges. 4 down. SIUE clinging to life here. Not too manageable, but at the same time, kind of manageable.
Relatively, especially going into this new rotation. And as far as the slaying goes, it's balanced out a bit more. Like you said, a slow one from Jakers. Ball is still doing his thing, and now you have Sen catching up on the other side, so things have leveled out. Like I'd called to earlier, the Cougars have found their footing in a sense. They need to make sure they don't falter. They need to keep playing strong, and they're doing just that.
Oh, Dolan got lost in the spawn. He might be behind 2 players here. And if you're able to hold sizable time in P1, you might be feeling confident going into the second half. And now it's Aspect heating up once again. 4 straight kills. Looking for number 5. All the way over to P1 will get knocked out from Kitchen, but Sin, although he's still alive, he's got a lot of players he's got to deal with here. 16 HP to his name. Hill sits vacated. SIUE will be able to break in. They stop the bleeding. 2 kills go Dolan's way, and now you look to the spawn side. Unfortunate, he picked up an AR with no ammo in it, but he's still here inside of the time.
Oh, and you're finding these picks. Now you can work forward. You have pit to control the spawns, come in safe, hides, turn around. So you want to fight for this time, the last 15, you're going to need to. You don't want to let it come down to a Razor's edge margin of time. They need to reflect, they need to contest. That's not going to be the case. Now they have to win these spawns, but I feel they've sold out to try and contest.
Oh, player 8 up top white. Ball is looking for a kitchen push, but doesn't realize there's a player up top above him. Could get an angle on somebody, but gunfights are being won. Dolan still looking out, has to escape. Almost gets away, but Ball is able to cut him down. Player still going to be spawning over by Piano. In the middle map, it's going to be a hit from both sides for CSP here in just a moment, but Ball is snipped out in the back end. Everybody can turn their arrows back around. Dolan will slide challenge in yet again. He might be negative right now, but these plays late in the game have been enough to be the catalyst for them to get back to 200.
A clean kill feed. Now it's 17 seconds for the win for CSP. One good break and they'd be good to go, but if you can get the lion's share of this time going into a scrappy P3, this game could come down to the wire as it already is. SIUE overcoming what was a 100-point lead at the end of the second set of rotations, now battling back the pinches on.
Split spawns in. Challenge good from Aspect. 31 HP. Thought for a moment he might lose the gunfight. They can win off this hill. 14 seconds is what they need. SIUE across the map.
That's why they've got to go. They need to find these kills. Jaker slows them down just to take 7 seconds remaining. Last two players up. You've got to run into the irons of AR. The nail in the coffin. Who else but Bala here, Alex, to close out map number 1. It was a valiant retaliation effort, but if anyone was going to be the final dagger in those closing moments, of course, it had to be Bala.
Started out slow, figured it out towards the end of the hard point. We see time and time again, that is the Achilles heel for so many teams in Call of Duty at a competitive level. If you start out slow, sure you can mount a comeback. A team might start to falter a bit, but you got to keep it consistent from the beginning of the game. And unfortunately, SIUE were not able to do that. We'll take a look at that 2-piece on the back end from CH that got them P4 time. But, I mean, you can see from the numbers here, not a great game when it came to slaying for SIUE. On the opposite end, CSP, I mean, from start to finish, Bala was the main man. But then Aspect, he was having a slow start. He got himself going towards the end. And Jaker's uncharacteristic 19 and 28 from the old man. But again, it's enough to get him the win in map 1. Taking a look at the, I mean, the graph here just kind of shows everything you need to know. No crossover whatsoever from start to finish. Kept about a 40-point advantage.
And I think the most telling portion of this hard point is going to be that initial P3 to P4 to P1. You're able to run up 70 odd points if you are CSP, and you only get 20 if you are SIUE. For the rest of that, you can kind of see the graph stays relatively close. It's just that deficit where the graph looks biggest. That's where they couldn't overcome it. You go down by 100 points at the end of 2 sets of hills, P4, P1 to kick off the second rotation. Even if you figure it out towards the end, again, this is the story told time and time again. You just run out of time. And that's what happened. Had they figured that out a little bit earlier, had they not given up those near full 60s, this could have been a completely different game. And still, the effort that they made to come back and only lose by 40 is impressive. But this one's going to sting a little bit, knowing that had you not started off so slow, you could have walked away with the big map 1-1.
All right, well, second hardpoint loss in the season. Still the only mode that SIUE have dropped so far in this early CCL going for 2025. Now, Amber, we've our mindsets to a search and destroy here on Hacienda. You put a pin in the point earlier on. I'll let you get to that in the moment. But with a 4-0 record for SIUE going up against CSP, who have not played this map at all this season, this one, at least in the early stages, feels pretty good for SIUE to tie the series up at 1 apiece.
It feels pretty solid indeed for the Cougars to kind of get this one going and kind of shift the momentum back their way. Of course, for CSP, they're not going to shy away from the moment. You expect Bala to continue applying the pressure that he has been, even at range with the AR. We all noted, Jaker's having a slow performance in map 1. You don't expect that to be, you called it uncharacteristic, and that's the case. You look to see a quick turnaround for him here as well, but Sen is going to be the player I'm keeping my eye on for Hacienda, someone who can kind of get slippery, get sneaky, and get behind enemy lines. I'm looking to him and Aspect here to kind of make the most noise. But for the Cougars, it's going to have to be a team effort, and calling out even the few players I have for their end. Like you said, momentum. Maybe going to lean their way if they can keep composure early on in this search and get a few clean rounds on the board.
Map 1, it was Bala's land. We're going into the search and destroy here. ARs can be quite potent on the map, but you do have to rely on those SMGs early in the going, especially if you're going to be pushing that B site to slide into rock, be able to take over the territory there, get the ground pushed up, and then those ARs can then have your support over the top, especially on the defensive side when you're looking over on that site. A lot of different areas that you can play this map. This is one of those where we take a 5v5 map, bring it down to 4v4. There are times where it feels a bit overwhelming to where you can't pick up every single lane that you need to on the map, especially on the early breaks. You're kind of just hoping that if maybe you send 2-3 to a bomb site, that the other team is either going to be there, or you kind of get the read of, hey, there's nobody here, so we can push towards the other side. If somebody hits up through middle map and you get overwhelmed by 2-3 players pushing middle map, especially on an offense, that can be devastating to a round, especially if they get secret control. Then they have the full 8 site within their grasp. So S&D for SIUE has been great all year long. Again, it has been for CSP too, but the main difference here, as I said right before, right after we got out of the first hard point, CSP and Concordia St. Paul, they have not played Hacienda in the CCL yet this season. Does that mean they're a bad team at this map? No, it just means that this is a map that they've kind of neglected. So maybe they're trying to get it into their map pool later on in the season. We should find out. But I think SIUE, just based off of that fact alone, may have the upper hand here.
And like you said, it's so heavily based on numbers. And I would agree with you and even expound on that point a bit, where Hacienda is definitely favored to play towards numbers, towards the site. Like you said, if you can kind of play that 50-50, get it right on a bomb site or mid-map, then you stand a chance to win those battles. But you can almost guarantee that if 2-3 go top, if 2-3 go rock side, and you only send one player, it'd be odd to bully ball, and they're going to walk out with majority and the line share of lives, man advantage in that moment. So you really want to play to the strength of your numbers. You really have to play off the information given and expect your teammates to respond quickly to the information's given, because like you said, once you can get complete site control, it can be over in a hurry. So it's just relying, trusting on your teammates, and again, looking to trust your strategy and play your numbers where you have them.
Absolutely. Last week for CSP, Nebraska, they played against them on a Vault Search and Destroy within that best of 5 series. It felt like a best of 3 with how quick it was over. But realistically speaking, their S&D on that map looked pretty concise, but that was a Vault Search and Destroy. That's one where everybody kind of knows where everybody's going to be on the map at all given times. I kind of want, in a weird way, for CSP to get tested in this match, because we have seen them on our bang out S&Ds. We've seen them on the ones that are a bit more readable, so to speak, across the board. So like the quick, second to second decision making that you have to be able to make if you are the Golden Bears on a map like Hacienda, this is going to give me a good look to see how they're going to be able to play against top teams later on in the season when they start making that deep playoff push or try to go win a conference championship. And I genuinely do think that this is going to be a fun test for them. So, maybe being a little giddy as a caster here, but I mean, regardless, should be a fun one. SIUE hitting the middle map first. Dolan's going to get great timing, slips all the way through over towards A. This offensive bomb should be able to go down pretty much with ease here. Ballin might be able to spoil the party, though, as he slips out through U. Nobody was watching it, and it's a first blood for the Golden Bears.
And they know exactly where bomb is as well, so now they need to play, reposition, and get that information. CH quick on the chase, quick on the trade, which is exactly what you would want. Bomb going to continue to go down, a 3v3 situation. You make the most of what could have been spoiled. Sure, you lose a player. Jaker's going to find a kill. 2 versus 2. Minimal idea where these players are.
Dolan needs to be careful. And he wraps back to try and get to top secret. He read 2 players were going to be hitting through the bottom, but they might just be able to sniff him out up top, and they absolutely do. What a read from CSP to be able to say, hey, you know what? Let's not challenge this guy double down, though. We don't know where he's going to be. Let's try and get him up top. D-Day trying to wrap back around to the top side of plat. 20 seconds left here. Wins the 1v1. 31 HP to his name. Up the ladder. Hip fire. Shots from the AR is not going to be able to get it done. Jakers final kill here in the round in the 1v1. 2 to his name and a defuse to come on through. It's going to be Golden Bears who go up 1-0.
Came down to literally that single gunfight. Both sides played at least well to kick things off. Again, you get blooded, you're able to recoup bomb, able to put it down quickly if you are the Cougars. But CSP, they play together, and I think finding what would have been that 3rd kill in the round where they're playing off of each other top secret, that was also, again, just smart heads up of CSP to do, so that they didn't isolate 1v1s and didn't throw the round away where they didn't need to. Again, on both sides, not a ton wrong. Just came down to an SMG gunfight versus an AR in a tight quarter space. So we go on to the next round. Golden Bears take round number 1, and now we see this battle start to go down top mid.
CH spotted out left side, barely escapes on the plat, and I think he's going to have a push directly behind him from Aspects. Bala opens up yet again, first blood, this time with the frag grenade. 4 versus 2 early on here. SIUE and the Cougars kind of split across the map at the moment. CH just holding the office, and you got, well, Dolan by himself over on Rock, so have some fun here. Bomb's going down today.
Dolan's got to make a move quickly. Seldom do people play lobby towards this A side, but he's trying to be diligent, trying to clear out what he can, not play floppy here. But as his teammate gets picked, I mean, with a submachine gun, you're trying to play for info. You know, these players are all going to be sitting, if not in secret, around these fences that you can't quite get eyes on. Dip dodging around well. Sure, if we could take a couple, that would be great. But with 20 seconds left, 13 to defuse the bomb this round. Done and dusted.
Yep, tries to slide back out, but I mean, once you lose 2 off the rip, you're able to get the bomb down, and you have everybody else kind of just trapped in the corner. You have a 3-man split over by the vines in the A site. You're watching every single lane that you can come from through there. You can allow the last player just kind of roam around, and that's what Aspect does very well in that SMG role. Plays bottom one, cuts off one, finds a second one up top. This is a well-played round from CSP.
2 straight for him. As you said, hoping to be tested in a map they haven't played. They've been hoping to be tested the entire year, as we got word of in some earlier team chats we were talking to. It's just a 2-0 advantage, though. The Cougars, again, have moments they can correct and look to get those 2 rounds to go their way. Nonetheless, they find themselves in a hole. D-Day with a good first blood. That's going to be Balla taken down. He's been the Reaper thus far, and now the push through Rock. Dolan connects as well. So again, down but never out. Quick 2 kills off the board. Sitting pretty here offensively. Info gained on where Cozy is.
Like the play by Cozy. Don't get over aggressive. You know the 2 are up top. Dolan's just going to slide back around the rock hand. Oh, please don't do it to him. Dips and dives. Dodges. Oh my god! No yellow, no red. Just a good gunfight win. Dolan will find 3 in the round.
Thumbs up from the desk. Said no cards needed. Cool shimmy. Able to connect. Runs that rock side, runs that A side. Gets the Cougars on the board.
Hopefully that's not a precedent that needs to be set going forward where one player needs to get 3 kills in a round for a round win for the Cougars. I don't think it will be. But again, opening blood from D-Day onto Balla. It's going to be gunfights you have to win through the middle of the map. This bomb is just going to be headed straight towards the A site, though. They're just going to torpedo gun it all the way over. Jaker should be able to get this one down relatively early, up through the top. Sin will be back with all the 48 HP, but CH will open up with the first blood. Aspect will fall, so the flank player, the player that likes to get aggressive, cut off.
Balla now sub in hand for the moment. Pretty aggressive through 10, but CH going to catch the better timing, going to clean that one up. 4 versus 2 once again. Bomb down, sure. Now you've quickly got to play for this info. Don't let them buy too much time. Now just the 1 left. Sen knows exactly where he is. Plays for the kill. Diffuse coming in. And rip off 2 straight rounds themselves.
Okay, well, previous round it was Dolan and D-Day. This time it's Sin and CH who go 3 for 1 throughout the course of the round. Flawless there for them as they bring things back to an even stance at 2-2. Well, I said I didn't want to see that precedence, and that's 2 rounds in a row where it happens.
Whatever it takes, I guess would be the case here.
S&D.
Gotta love it.
Best game was BO3 for S&D. Still hold that true to my heart. It's been fun here so far in the Cold War year. The Cold War. Black Ops 3. D-Day. Rest of the squad for SIUE. Looks like they're just going to try and take this bomb up. Get top middle control. Right-hand side challenge. That's a hard win for Balla. He's got 2 different players trying to shoot at him. CH will rip his head off. Early blood here. 3rd straight round where they find it. 5 in a row here from CH as he started to get tired.
Oh, no.
Dolan back in. Forces one into the corner. Just going to reload. Plays with the rest of his team. Has reinforcements. Minute left to play. Bomb still in their hands.
Great timing through mid. Gets out completely. Missed by CSP, but not able to connect for the kill, and that could come back to bite them because Cozy, if you keep him alive for long, don't keep eyes on his whereabouts. But again, he and Jakers connect for 2 and quickly draw it back to even. So could be reeling there for a moment. Dolan not picking up that kill, but we'll come to find out. Still, plenty of opportunity to walk out with a round win, especially with bomb down. They're just going to turtle up. They're going to play around rock and see what they can do. It's going to be an AR in hand. And Cozy closing distance as well at 1 and 3 with an AR. Jakers trying to push the line with him. They've split up for a moment now together, pushing around the site.
CH back end looking for the ace in the round here. Slide challenge out. He'll wisely back off. He wants to play for that Hellstorm missile if he can find it. 1 versus 1 on the site. D-Day will back him off, and with 9 seconds left, don't really have anything here. CH will try from the back end, but it will be the gunfight 1 for SIUE. 3-2 up in the rounds now. 3 straight they've ripped off. I think they found the rhythm.
In stride. And that's the back end, too, of really good offensive play. Even if they've gotten flooded or maybe found themselves in a situation where the setup breaks down for a moment, they are still able to execute at either site. CH out to 6 in a row. 7 and 2 will be the stat line, as he's really been the one, as you've called out, to pave the way for these 3 consecutive rounds. Now we'll see if CSP can string together an answer. It's been dormant. It's been quiet. They've had moments for comebacks in some rounds where they've been down, but not quite enough as it'll be a battle mid, but wisely backing down once again. It's going to be SIUE.
Oh, bad timing from CH. Loses out on the Hellstorm opportunity. The AR caught by the SMG, and Cozy on a push there that went awry from Dolan. Be able to even things out, make it a 4 versus 2. D-Day trying to wrap back around. Shot's going to be good onto one. Knows there's one over by the staircase. Does Cozy decide to challenge back out? Bomb will go down 2 versus 3 on the wrap back.
Oh, this timing. Oh, I don't think he saw him. Unless he heard him. The snapback was so quick. This 1v1 playing so much time. Cozy doing exactly what he needs to is at this point trying to regroup with your teammate. Top and bottom secret is going to be the call, and Cozy just playing it to a T. You're getting picked apart. You're not able to find these kills. He finds one, he gets out, but again, time dwindling quickly.
20 seconds. Really about 10 to the good. D-Day looking around, trying to slide back. The challenge over on the left is good for 1. And if you're the last player alive in ball up, you know you just have to play the time. D-Day read it right, but he's on 5 in a row. So this is his time now to play his life, where CH couldn't get the Hellstorm beforehand. Ooh, maybe a pixel peek there. Ballin wants to slide back across. Nobody falls here. Bomb will explode. So after 3 rounds that ripped away for the Cougars, the Golden Bears get themselves back to 3-3. We're even once again here on Hacienda.
You talked about it coming into map 2, where you were talking CSP in specific, but even for either of these teams, right, and this map specifically, just those micro decisions within a round that all of these players are being forced to make at different times. And we're seeing it on full display here at the Search and Destroy. Going into the back half of it, both teams playing well. D-Day to 5 in a row, like you said. And Dolan once again getting free up for free.
So much pressure on the top. Well-timed flank. Picks up the first blood. It's just every round that Dolan wants to be able to fly through the middle of the map, he's absolutely allowed to. D-Day will find 6 in a row. Escapes back to his teammates. Nobody's going to challenge from the platform side. So in a 4 versus 2, you're 1 kill off of a Hellstorm missile here. If you are D-Day, you might be able to walk away with it if you get that bomb down, or it'll be at least super damn close. With 2 across the map, B-side is open and free. Jaker's really the only one to be able to make a play here in the back end, though. Bala able to walk away with 1.
Unfortunately, you're so split, so numbers are going to be on the site. Jaker's in a spot where how quickly does he look to push? Gonna back down? Maybe gonna try to re-up with his teammate, but again, if you're Bala, you don't want to give up that back position. Now you have a few players hunting for you.
You know he's back there. Bomb check's good. Bala looking to make his way up forward. I mean, he's got 2 players up top that he has to watch for. If anybody gets aggressive here on the challenge, should be able to walk away with it. I mean, he knows where the bomb's planted, so he should know that there's 2 up top. But he has to make the wrap all the way through. 20 seconds left. Not a lot of time here if you are CSP. You could be able to find D-Day in the back, but the Hellstorm has already been earned for him. So SIUE will have a streak. They have the lead as well. Towards the tail end of this series, a break back on a side or an early push on an offensive hit could very well spell trouble for the Golden Bears.
Decisions. Lots of them there in the final moments. Akers again playing from the P2 side of Bomb, wasn't able to relay much information or deal any kind of damage towards those gunfights. Just, again, has been SIUE doing a fantastic job playing time, buying time. Even if some kills come through, no opportunity for the clutch coming in. Like you said, if they can execute stout defense here, put themselves on map point, look to tie up the series, but still many rounds away will be the case there. And here comes that numbers battle we were talking about earlier.
1v4 on the side, tail end, trying to escape all the way to wine. Nobody's going to push it out because they don't know how many numbers could be there on the back end when he's pushing away. So 4v4 we still go. Bomb will go down early here. Still have the Hellstorm. 2 different RCXDs to call in as well. Cozy finds the first blood and Ball is wrapping back.
D-Day connects, calls it in. Hellstorm, Sen gonna find a kill behind it. Don't. Reaper coming through. Rock is his. He has not been taken down here in quite some time. Ooh. And that'll be the case back on a 4 spree. You invest the Hellstorm. It connects. Your ARs look to find some kills on the back end of things. A beautiful retake coming in. Map point.
That's what I was worried about for the Golden Bears. You go to B, an open site, but that Hellstorm can find so much utility out there. You either funnel them through middle map to a few players that are waiting in the slaughterhouse, or over by P2, you're able to just sneak that one inside to find a cheeky kill. And I think when Bala got that kill on D-Day, I think they might have said, okay, hey, he's not on streaks anymore. We should be good. Unfortunately, though, they don't read it out correctly. 2-round advantage now for SIUE back on the offense here. They've been able to make it stick a few rounds. And they do it one more time on match point.
Let's see what the call is. A couple players going up mid, but again, quickly wrapping to P2, so no one going to chow mid. No one will be home. And again, I love the flank play out of CH. Some more reconnaissance going forward with the double RCs. They're going to clear this site entirely.
But you have two players trying to push all the way through. You know one's in the back with Sin. The trade that comes through early, so 3 versus 3. I like the call from CSP to get aggressive with 2 RCXDs being called in. So the remote control car is off the map. You can now look to push your way back forward. CH gets good timing on one, and somehow it's team help that comes from the opposite end, and they walk away with a gunfight win on Dabala. Oh, that's unfortunate for the Golden Bears, and now with the bomb on B, it's another rewrap that they have to hit back from the opposite side of the map. 2 players there. They have so much to clear out, and Cozy gonna spot one out, but he doesn't get the shots in. Oh, that's unfortunate.
I mean, the rewrap perfect, but a lot of patience, a little bit of luck. And CH could have very well just put this round away again. Time dwindling, not able to find any of these gunfights early on. It's going to be a 1 versus 3-4. You're playing around the bomb. You're going to try to get aggressive. And D-Day wreaking havoc to close the search and destroy. A bunch of players taking 3 in a round early on just to carve their way back into it. They take the search and destroy 6 rounds to 1 after CSP was up 2-0. I mean, it didn't take them long to find footing this time around, Alex. We knew momentum was leading their way here. And again, you could see, I would even say less the lack of reps for CSP. I mean, sure, it absolutely will play a part into it, but SIUE knew exactly what they wanted to do going into that.
Yep.
And again, that's where kind of those lack of reps can point to. Golden Bears didn't have many answers when they were down in some of those rounds.
1,400 damage for D-Day. CH was the one who got the momentum swung in the way of the Cougars throughout those 3 rounds that they were able to ring off after CSP went up 2-0. He went on about a 6 spree there. Wasn't able to earn the Hellstorm, but D-Day did in those closing rounds. So the carrying and the passing of the torch for the Cougars in the S&D between those 2 AR players was a wonderful search and destroy to watch out of them. So they tied things up at 1 apiece. Pretty much every team that got the first blood won the round. You don't see it really too much where it happens in the opposite way anymore, but there are some series that we see that, and it just is always a pain point that we like to bring up. But regardless, CSP reeling off the back end of it. Streaks were the ones that ruined the game for them. A couple of gunfights that could have gone their way. There was a lot of concise hits from SIUE through the middle of the map, especially double chows onto Bala after you found those first 2 bloods in rounds 1 and 2. Really changed the tides for the Cougars inside of this best of 5 series. So we're up 1-1 now. We have a red card guaranteed for a hard point in map 4. Could this series go to the distance cache? That is the question, but we'll see a Vault Control up next.
I'm excited for the Vault Control for either of these squads now that we're kind of right into the nitty-gritty of this series. Both teams have a map on the board. Both teams feeling good about where they stand at a 1-1 standstill. And you called the recency to what we had seen for the Golden Bears last week on Vault, albeit it was a search and destroy. This is a map they look really comfortable on. What we've seen of them, and for the Cougars, obviously haven't fallen yet. Neither team having dropped a control, but again, that recency bias coming in. I expect this to be fast. I expect Aspect to continue making noise. Bala, I still would think would continue the performance he's had the entirety of the series, but the submachine guns,
Yep.
Jakers, Aspect, going to be who I'm pointing at to kind of carry that torch to get this team back on track and a respawn. And send D-Day, the ARs on the other side of things starting to heat up. I mean, we've got ourselves a full-fledged series here.
We absolutely do. And if you didn't hear the news beforehand, folks, yes, we have a new name joining our CCL family, the exclusive controller partner of the CCL, Scuff Gaming. To play like the best, you have to play with the best. Scuff, the exclusive controller partner of College COD. Thank you again to Scuff for joining on with us for the season. I have my own Scuff controller that I use when I play ranked in, really in the spare time. I was kind of final last night, Amber. I wish you were there to play with me, but we'll hop in some games soon. That being said, Control on Vault coming up after a short break. 1-1 between 2 top 25 teams. It's a matchup that we've been waiting all day for. We'll see how it ends after a break. Vault Control for the 3rd map in our best of 5 series between 2 top 25 teams. Number 15 ranked Concordia St. Paul looking to stay undefeated on the season. That's the first map that they have dropped in that search and destroy against SIUE all year long. They were looking for better competition to be able to play up against inside of the top cut, and that's exactly what they have gotten. So Falters coming in on the first time they played through Hacienda Search and Destroy. That's something that they can go back to the lab and work on going forward throughout the rest of the year. Expanding the map pool at this point in the season is probably the most important thing things that these top teams need to be focusing on at this juncture. On the opposite end for the SIUE Cougars, that just felt from start to finish like a pretty good search and destroy. They felt comfortable. They're 5-0 on that map in total now, so that's something that they can take into the latter half of the season. Need to be careful though if that does get knocked out against them. They're not playing too many S&Ds in every series, Amber. They played what, 8-9 maps throughout the 9 series throughout the year so far, and that's only 9 search and destroy. So if over half of those are search and destroys on Hacienda, we might want to start expanding the map pool somewhere else as well.
Yeah, stretch it a little bit and maybe start to flex on some other maps like you really alluded to, in the sense that over half of them have been there, and it's a very strong one. They don't look to have many weaknesses, but like you said, with the power of vetoes, teams are going to be more than aware of that being a strong suit, and I expect that to try its hardest to find its way out of series against the Cougars squad. And if we get to, map 5, if we could walk away, get ourselves there, that skyline could be telling on the other side of things for the Cougars, of course, but we have another respawn ahead of us. One where you are 1-0 if you're the Golden Bears in this series, a vault map that they look very comfortable on. And they're not going to have a slow map once again after how that search and destroy went for them. They're not going to let the Cougars impose their will the way they have. It's a quick push through B. The only player there is going to be CH, and sure, he's been loud and made some noise. Kicking off with the first blood, he's going to be common for reinforcements.
One laying down. That's a difficult gunfight to win there if you are Jakers laying down. So it was a 3-man hit through the vault to try and get out to B early on. SIUE, although they pushed the middle of the map, CH was able to escape back to Art side, make it work for the P3 hit. So CSP reeling off of the opening break that didn't go their way. Looks like they're going to try and get a few players on the A side. Red in the kill feed still, though. SIUE continuing to make it work for themselves on the defensive side here, but they escape back to B with Walla pushing up the P3 street, 2 pushing in from Lion.
And they really want to get B control early on, but it's just been good numbers advantage, awareness out of SIUE to win the lion's share of those gunfights and clear things off once again. It's been a slower control here through round 1. It's been patient. Aspect has been trying to lie around vault and hop up to give his teammates safeguard towards A, but nothing has been the case. Just good flow back and forth defensively for SIUE as they try to clean up more of these kills, and are going to. They haven't set up the spawn trap just yet, but they haven't had to. 40 seconds, up 4 lives. Sen gonna be the first one to push across that 50-yard line here, and we'll see what kind of noise he can make.
Bad timing. And Amber, you made the call. Sin just needs to get lost here. If you get behind a few of these players, you can absolutely force them to waste even more time here in the round. But with 30 seconds left, they've broken out of the spawn trap. CSP have gotten into mid-map and stalled the clock out. Looking for the first tick of progress on A. CH will fall. 2 more kills go the way of the SMGs for the Golden Bears. 18 apiece, now evened out on the live. Second tick of progress underway. And now you can ensue the spawn trap on the defensive side. No one going to be pushing inside of you. Cozy will hop off the point for just a moment with the second tick of progress on A.
And that's going to be the A-side complete. Sen maybe going to pick some players, find some exit kills here if he can, and not going to be the case. Throws that life away back to the respawn block. It's his team now going to be the ones cleaning up for exits, and they will do just that. D-Day, Dolan, CH, all of them finding their way into the kill feed. That allows CH to work forward. Knows they're spawning ammo, able to get one, and here we go again, Alex. Try to get lost the best you can. He finds another, and that's going to turn this play around.
I was going to say, Cozy doesn't read that, and he gets up the staircase to top ammo. The last thing you want in your spawn, especially when trying to hit the B side, is an AR flanking behind you. Ball it in through the vault, not able to win it against Sin. He pulls out the AR. Car will explode by a team nade from the top end of CH. 2 kills on the back end of it, so he'll get his own trade. 11-10 for the defense as they sit here still. Top bar control stun check out towards the left, still pushing around the right-hand side. There's only 2 players left on the zone here. The Golden Bears have an opportunity to make something stick on B.
D-Day, 1-man wrecking ball as he's able to clean things up. Now this push coming through poolside, and this is the first attempt we've really seen. I mean, with 1 player, so hardly a full-fledged team push, but something where, again, you have Dolan's attention turned, and he may have slipped the net. Can try to get hookah quickly here as his teammates look to find these kills from front. Jakers finds one from the back. His teammates collect for the front, so now you have at least numbers advantage if you can collect this last kill. Clock, stop. First tick coming through. 4 versus 3. It's got to be squeaky clean here.
2 players on the zone. Vault doors are closed. They can read out the flank if they need to. 2 players looking to hit through the middle of the map and a flank all the way around to the back end to spawn. They need to get here, though. There's 3 players stacking the zone now. Second tick of progress. Good. Dolan, the last one alive now. Looks for the players out, swords, palms. And, I mean, this is the worst case scenario. You might just want to throw your life away so they don't get that final tick. Instead, you lay down, 4 players stack it, and what looked like a good round on defense from SIUE thwarted by a late resurgence from the offense.
It was slow to kick things off, and I think big part of that was CSP always being aware and not letting a player in spawn find more than a kill or 2, and they didn't have an opportunity for the Cougars. They didn't have chances to get a lot of numbers there. They were able to get 1 or 2, but it was good gunfight wins on the front side of things as well, the line pushing forward. So often we focus on the flank, but They kept lives manageable, they kept things tied, and then, of course, overtook the life lead at the tail end of things. So, like you said, a good round to close out. They're able to get it by ticks as well, which will bode well for them if this control looks to go the distance. Now the Cougars on the offensive side of things, it was a pushes towards B that they ended up giving up on the side of CSP. We'll see if the Cougars look to get active here towards the A side and can't get too active with the nade in your face as your teammates trying to quickly get the trade. Not going to be the case at the moment. Look at how aggressive CSP are being now that they found these kills.
Oh, lucky to survive there as Dolan came to help out on the flank. Pushed all the way through top cap to get back on A. One spotted inside of the vault. CH isn't going to opt to drop down. Instead, he'll look back over towards the left where Dolan, once again, inside of U with the SMG, is helping his teammates stay alive on this A point. One player on it. Now the double stack comes in. Follow from the vault, still a problem, but the SMG from CH will be able to force his way in. Cozy, slide shout in towards you, looks to the right-hand side. Aspect from the middle side of P3. Door is going to be able to slide in for 2, almost gets the 3rd. CH somehow survives, but he's got a few more players here. D-Day from the top side of Catwalk will be able to combine with his teammate to allow Bala to be the last remaining player on the defense here. P3 door open once again. Last 2 players here from SIUE will hop on the zone. Nobody will be there for a contestation. 5 life difference for the offense and defense with a minute added to the clock.
Pace difference exponential as well. The Cougars wasting no time, just going the traditional route, pushing A, bullying it out, and now having a life advantage, as you said, like as they go towards this B site. Quickly on the flank, taking advantage of it. Send the player who's been trying to make noise there should be able to collect for one aspect. That'll turn both players around Art, so these teammates need to push up behind it. But again, a flank coming in out of Jakers also. Both teams with opportunities to make noise and play spoiler potentially for these pushes.
I mean, I like that they got down. They tried to play around the side of Art, but it forced both of them out of position on the top side. So that allowed everybody from SIUE to push onto the point. Now they got 2 players on it. Double stack in, looking for the second tick of progress. Aspect will slide challenge in. Will find the player on site with the black car heady, but the second tick has already been locked in. So yes, you are going to be able to break this back if you are the defense, but the damage has been done from offense. It's still a 3 life advantage. There's a lot of time to play with here. The Cougars just need 1 good push, and 1 tick is all that separates them from a round win.
And it's quite the spread across the map. A 1v1 going down over by poolside, and we'll see who's able to win it. Dolan's going to walk away with it. So again, a lot of players moving south now towards and through P1 as they're trying to wipe these players back, push these spawns back. No one quite towards zone, but Bala is someone you have to take care of. So a lot of question marks, a lot of gunfights up for grabs for the moment as now Bala taking advantage of the open space in front of him.
Real good timing to slip into the spawn, as you mentioned. Sin looking to weaken up player up top. Should be good help in from D-Day and will be. So mid-map cleared out for a moment. Cozy going to toss a stun in, recognizes there's one over towards close side. D-Day will lay down. Cozy, no idea where this player is, but Jakers with the SMG will push up. Now they flip the tables. The defense with the life advantage now. 11-11, back on the zone. They clear the player off. It was half a tick of progress towards the 3rd and completion. Now only 55 seconds left in the round. This is where you start to panic a bit if you're SIUE. You're forcing the spawn. Middle map is locked down by the Golden Bears, and you've got to force your way through gunfights.
Panic might be appropriate. It was 21-16 at one point favoring the Cougars, and now they have to do a lot of clearance before they can get back towards the side. It's going to be Cozy lying in wait, able to collect a kill. Another player catch snap, almost clean. If he didn't have help from the team shots, maybe walks away with that one. Ball is still outer palms and still wreaking havoc. Collects a kill, gives his teammates the comms, but no one else is pushing through P3 door. And now with all irons forward, 30 seconds less remaining. This one's got to stick.
Cheeky read. Shots to the car aren't going to be able to help. D-Day looks for the second challenge on the left-hand side, but this should be everybody dead. Don't let the last one alive here. Bala with 15 seconds left, just watching the vault. Looks like it's going to be a 2-hit back over towards the P3 street. You got one trying to push out of the vault. Bala stays alive, 5 HP. They're on the zone. Clock stalled out at 11 seconds. Dolan over by Lion, able to make the 3rd one. 3 versus 2. 2 players remaining here for SIUE. Top Art is where you need to look if you are the players from the Cougars. Halfway through the progress here. 2 players stacked on it. Now the push back here from CSP. Left side challenge. Dolan in for 1. D-Day help out. Oh, they find it to the right-hand side. 1 versus 1. Bala versus Dolan. Still alive here, and D-Day will stick it on the point.
2 back-to-back rounds, nail biters down to the wire. 3 versus 1 the round previous. 1 versus 1 here, and again, you want to win the 1v1, of course, but it comes down to ticks, and they get all 6 on the docket as well. So they search and destroy. Sure, lives are favoring CSP at this moment with ticks tied. But back on the offensive side of things, with both teams earning those 6 ticks, Alex, as this control goes on, offensive success becomes more and more pertinent.
See, control can be fun.
Yeah, be a good time.
Usually just in those late moments is when control is fun. So half of the round, you're just waiting until you get to that final contestation moment. Stun should be able to find 2 here. Balla pushed up with the SMG, is able to find 1. Teammate should be there for the trade and absolutely will be. So 1-3 you go on the opening break. You got players now on the A site. Cozy will push inside of you. Force the line just a bit further into the SIUE spawn. Looking for that first tick of progress on A. They'll be able to lock it in early on this time. Minute 18. Still left to play here inside of the first round. Sin on a flank. D-Day with 1 over the top in the AR. It's a full-on frenzy towards the middle of the map now. He'll clear it out, but CSP still fighting.
Oh, and if flank would have been cleaner, they would have had numbers and positions to immediately turn to spawn side and trap CSP, so it doesn't quite work out. But again, you can appreciate the idea of it all. As they still have mid-map control. It's going to be P2 spawns for the Golden Bears. Now as they're trying to work through pool side for the moment. Not finding many openings, but maybe pushing their way south if Jakers can collect this kill, and does just that. So now they're working to that bottom left-hand side, try to repinch back to P1 towards this A site as well. Side's closed. Site's still up for grabs, but with that cleanup kill, that should be clearance for the moment to close out A, and they'll do just that.
Same position SIUE was in the last time through. A lot of time on the offense. Gunfights being won by the defense. Balla out by the palms. Oh, snaps because he thought he had the kill. Oh, that's just the worst. You feel bad for him. But in the moment, you get caught up. Cozy will push his way forward onto P3, playing the Pillars heady. 1 top art, 1 on the vault, and the rest spread out through middle map.
1v1 going down potentially at P1. Jakers. That's going to be Sen dropping down vault. Waiting for a timing, waiting to try to get the hop up, and nearly walked away with the gunfight, but again, just off that hop up, unable to get the kill. So it is going to be playing out of spawn. Dolan trying to cut these players off, but your teammates aren't winning gunfights yet off the front end of things to push this line back. The flank comes through. You're going to be watching for it. If you're Cozy, able to clean that up, so that clears out the spawn side flank. Now, if it's just an all-out war, you lose the gunfights 3 for 1 in the feed. Last player standing is going to be Jakers once again, and he hasn't been able to make much noise for a moment, and without teammate help, he might have to slow play once again.
Oh, Sin got good timing on 1. Turns back around. Doesn't realize that he had slipped through, though, so Balla gets behind. Able to go to the cat side. Jakers. And the spawn side of SIUE somehow stays alive. He's inside of P4. Now the question is, will he get read out by Sin? Or will he be able to slip through on a god timing? It looks like he's gotten to bottom art. So he hasn't been spotted out. Jakers. Challenge up top. Shots in are good. The jump down could come through and absolutely does. He's just going to challenge it straight out. Stays alive. 3 in a row for him. Rest of the teammates now pushing out to the P3 side. They've got palms control. They've got on the zone. Somehow, some way. That play from Jakers doesn't get him killed. It gets him on the B zone.
And Sen is still chasing forward, ends up getting picked off. So 2 players spent time delegating, hunting, trying to calm for this player. Weren't able to find him. He got lost, which is exactly what you call for. Unfortunately, your team on the other side of things haven't been able to touch the zone. 10 seconds left. You got to get close. Sure, you're trying to clear things out, but you need to make a stick. With no response remaining, they need to jump on time.
Good read. Sin up top will find a second after the flank does not work out. If you're the last player in Cozy, you'll just keep yourself cut up on the opposite side. So the ammo spawns come through. The defense wins off of lives. Time goes their way. And as CSP won that first opening offense, this time they're only good for 3 ticks. So 9 versus 6 is the tick advantage right now. If you're SIUE, you just need 1 zone, 1 tick of progress, and you guarantee yourselves a defense for the final round. Of course, that also constitutes you don't win on the offense.
Rounds playing oh so close down to the time every single time as we're going into round 4 between these 2 teams. Series tied 1-1. Respawns up until this point where both teams not faltering in control. They've had a lot of 3-0 series between them. This one feeling like it's going to go down to the wire as we're guaranteed a map 4. You need to execute if you're the Cougars. You can close this one out, get to the red card respawn, but again, CSP going to look to make a strong stand here. D-Day not able to collect for the kill. It's going to be 1 for 1 in the feed. No one towards zone just yet. Everyone's trying to group up. Slow play this to start.
Stun will connect on a Jakers, but they will have the information that he was playing inside of closed. So you flip the map around. You're trying to play out through poolside. You don't realize Concordia St. Paul, they have pushed up through P3. They're trying to get into the spawn side. Jakers, lays down 6, snaps on him inside of A. Tries to get the player that's left up and towards top cat. But you clear everybody out. Now it's going to be a respawn. You're forcing them to spawn over by P2. Aspect should get a read on this. Unfortunately, though, it's a pool drop-up. Might get shot from behind here as a player jumped up towards top cat.
Now you're trying to push up and find a couple more kills, get cat control. Dolan's going to do just that. You're able to collect the kill for D-Day as well. Sure, it's going to be ball and trade, so the comm needs to be in quickly that, okay, ball is going to be behind enemy lines. SCH designated to play for, but with the quick wrap through P2, he could continue to play spoiler if he can find a timing. Either way, SIUE going to be on time. Second tick of progress should be coming through for the moment. Balla still collecting on the backside.
Team kill came in. It was a hop up from Aspect from the vault. One more might be able to play spoiler here. You get the challenge out from the left side of you. Here comes the hop up. They don't even get anything off of it. So SIUE, a 2-life advantage now from what was 2020. They should be able to find this last tick of progress on A. D-Day is going to force the map and force CSP not to even send their forces middle. He's sending everybody back over towards B. Finally, they'll stay down. Bala will connect with 1, make it 2. Jaker is there to find 3. So the last player alive is actually snuck all the way through. So if you're CH, playing your life here, not walking away with this gunfight might be what you want. You find Bala laying down over by Palms. Everything's starting to fall apart here on the defense.
Shocked Bala doesn't snap around for that one. Maybe just not aware that his teammates weren't in position to be able to get that trade, or didn't think he would challenge out that quickly. Either way, like you said, you get in a great spot where your teammates can start to top time. Sure, you have players on the spawn side of things, but with CH sitting top art, again, he can just peek out, play spoiler, and find these kills. You get wiped though, so you need to make some damage, quickly stick. Not quite going to be the case as Bala is still playing his life, and your teammates could still be in a spawn trap situation.
It's so hard if you're CH playing this angle, though, because there's so many things that you have to do. Not only do you have to find these kills, but you have to make sure you're being impactful as your teams are getting spawn trapped on the opposite side of the map. So you're 11-12 now. Offense trying to just push back over towards B. You're so close to locking in that first tick of progress on the B zone. If you're able to complete it, which they have already, excuse me, in my incompetence of being able to read a very small sliver on that B zone. They will have defense if it goes the distance to round 5. Still, though, 11-9. Defense pushing in the middle of the map. Jakers trying to walk away with 1, trying to dance around the pole here. Slides back out, almost wins it. Sin up close with the AR. 9-9. We're even now. We go the opposite way. 3 kills go down. 30 seconds left. Second tick on the way.
And that should be the round. It's going to be the 4 stack coming in. You are not going to get close. You are not going to have time. Alex, the search and destroy is over. This one could be closed out here on the next map.
There we go. Lock through. SIUE. After losing the first respawn, the hardpoint maybe hasn't been the best game mode for them all year long. But after a good search and destroy, they found them with a 6-3 win. And here on the control, with a 3-1 winning 2 offensive rounds, you feel pretty confident going into this next map on the red card hardpoint. And you're not going to be able to tell anything from this scoreboard here. But I will say D-Day was freaking frying. No, check that. He was frying.
Yep. Yeah, an aspect on...
I'll pull Miles. I don't care. I love you.
not?
I love you, Miles.
Why not? But aspect on the CSP side of things, a quiet 37-29. I mean, and that just, you know, sucks whenever you're in a situation that how many of those rounds came down to time? Well, every one of them did, barring that last round. And it's just something where against these two teams, up against one another, every decision, every micro moment matters, and we're seeing that come to a head here. SIUE 1 map away from a top 25 upset if they can, you know, pull away and get it here. But CSP, you've already taken a hard point in this series. You hope to do the same. We all, and I'm sure they, hope to see a map 5 after this respawn if they can collect. Bala playing well, Aspect playing well. Both teams, neither of them giving poor performances as far as the 8 players in the lobby are concerned, Alex. So it's been very close. Though some of these map score lines don't quite show it in those middle 2. Again, it has just come down to those instant moments where the quickest of decisions need to be made. And well, at least for SIUE, they're able to find the better of that these last 2 maps.
Concordia St. Paul last week took the Cornhuskers to their first series loss on the year. They thought this time around against a number 23 ranked SIUE they'd be able to do the same. Instead, it has been a different story across the board after winning the first hardpoint. You've lost 2 maps now. Going into a red card hardpoint, this is the first time that you've been faced not only with a map loss, but you're on series point now. On the opposite end, the Cougars close things out here on a red card hardpoint. Something that you have not practiced if you're CSP. So again, this very well could be another one of those moments where Concordia St. Paul are looking to expand their map pool, but it's also another one of those things where it's like, at the same time you're trying to expand your map pool, you kind of need to win the series to keep yourselves at the top of the top cut and put yourselves at the best seed for the portion of the playoffs when we get to the conference championship talk. So it's a double-edged sword that you're having to play with here if you are the Golden Bears. But now faced with adversity for the first time this season, we get to see what this team is exactly made of in these clutch moments. SIUE looking to play spoiler early on. I know it's, you know, only an 8-spot difference between the 2 teams, but this is definitely going to shake up some top 25 standings should the Cougars be able to take not even on the hard point here, but in the search and destroy as well. So, Amber, I guess the question now comes out with the SMGs and how well they've been playing from SIUE, opposively to CSP, where Jakers is just having an uncharacteristic series.
Yeah.
Going into a map that's dominated by the ARs, do we see one of those SMG players maybe pull out an AR and try to help out over the top?
We could see that. I think they're going to trust on either side, right? Either team. Kind of what the subs are feeling. Okay, do I feel like I'm kind of getting gunned at range and not able to close distance the way I would like? Yeah, I'll pull out that third AR and see if I can run around and maybe find a bit more success there. But you think of those critical moments and around red card, that's going to be take it side for P1, that transition over to P4 situations where the submachine guns, if they get lost in those areas and those moments once again, Dolan, you think of someone who's continually running flanks, Aspect, a player who always likes to slip the line. Those submachine guns can still have just as much prowess, just as much impact as those AR players, but I, again, wouldn't be shocked and almost expect a third AR to come through here for a moment. And again, that just comes down to what those submachine gun players are most comfortable with on this map, what the team composition feels best as. But I expect Dolan, Aspect, going to be the two going head-to-head here. We've called to every player at different moments in this series. But I think even potentially those subs that could switch flex here could be the ones that make the most influence in deciding the map.
Yeah. Well, look, we'd got some information early on from the roles of these players, but the flex SMG for Jakers is the one that I might expect to pull out an AR here, potentially as we go forward. Early on, though, he'll lose a gunfight up to Dolan, and he'll just slide Chow through the middle of the map. Sin wins it back by P4, and it's an early wipe from SIUE that's going to give them P1 control. So it's the longest sprint out of any map to the first hard point. We start things off here, but 30 seconds of time still fresh and right for the taking. Jakers has the AR out in hand. That's what we wanted to call on from him. They get 3 down, and they do exactly what SIUE did on the rip.
Time sitting ready for the moment. The map up for grabs everywhere. Sen going to try to collect this kill, but going to be the call to CH. Not going to be able to do just that. Cozy finds a couple in the feed. Going to try to connect for the other, but Jakers comes in for the cleanup. One of them will be a team kill, so CH out the head side. Going to try to find some of these spawns. Going to be in that back right side, and somewhat unpreferred for P2 in a sense, given that you can get pinned all the way back here. That rotation becomes near impossible to P3, given, as you'd call to P1, right, how long that hike is. But 60 seconds of time between now and then. CH just going to chow blindly, see if he can get a player goal. That won't be the case. So clean kills coming in for the moment. D-Day collects for 2. Can he get the third? Answer going to be yes. A violent snap with the AR. Cozy able to get the trade, but damage perhaps done, as now it is going to be SIUE on time.
CH will look up top. SMG just trying to play this close cut as they push across. It's going to be 2 kills. Like, go SIUE's way. Oh, the drop shot on the turnaround. Balla makes it stick with the arrow up close. What got shaky for just a moment allows SIUE with the preferred spawns here for P2 to be able to find themselves inside of the point. Balla will slide in, looking for perhaps a double kill here. Unfortunately, though, over the top, it's just a 2-2 trade that allows SIUE to remain in place. You do have CH trying to get out across the map. SMG going to be able to escape to the stairwell as well. So this could flip the map out early on here. 10 seconds of time on the scrap here for the Golden Bears to collect, but across the map is a 2v2.
Both players going to have to quickly spread across as D-Day collects for a couple more spawns. Going to be parallel for the moment, but numbers absolutely favoring Cougars. Ball to come in parking, so a push coming in. It's going to be on really Dolan to find these couple of kills where he's can as his teammates spawn out. The pinch developing quickly here, Alex. It is going to be time sitting right now. Time favoring CSP, but more gunfights in tow.
Jakers double. Allows him to get through the front door. Up the staircase, Aspect wants to chase. Doesn't realize where this last player is. Oh, an aggressive challenge from Sin with AR in hand. You have a pixel peek if you are Aspect here, so if you want to drop down, maybe get on the zone, you could be able to find 1, perhaps 2. Unfortunately, though, Dolan, who has been deploying SMG here thus far, is able to help out with the teammates. He's back on 2 in a row. 8 and 6 for him early on here, leads the way for both teams.
47 up to 57 seconds of time, so Mr. Duvidal early on for the team to make sure they don't have the foothold slippage they had in map number 1, as they have a lead here for the first time in any hard point that we've had, of course, this being 2 of the 2 we would see. A much better start out of the squad as the rotation is underway. Stage control coming in. Going to be favoring from 40 St. Paul for the moment. As hedge control going to be in next, and Sen doing dirty work to get a couple of kills, soften this push for his team as they need to clean up these last few.
Opportunity for a Super Soaker P4 here. D-Day will get forced back. Jakers on the top side of P4 will be able to find and collect a few. Sin trying to force his way in. Contestion going to be here. Looks for one on the A-bomb site. We'll be able to make quick work of him with the help of the teammates. Pistol slide challenge in. Aspect walks away with it. 3-1 for Concordia St. Paul. They'll remain inside. 30 seconds to play for here. They've already got the first 30 seconds. They've about tied the game here. They should be able to take the lead as nobody's ready for the encroachment.
and getting picked off, not able to get any kind of opening that they need to get on a time. And even if they can test for a moment, again, the numbers quickly traded out. So the rotation just going to be chalked up. Cougars going to try to get here first, winning some gunfights as well on rotation. You need to let these players do their thing, hold their irons ticket, and find these kills. But they aren't able to. So Ball and now behind enemy lines is realize where these players are spawning. Heads should be turning in a moment. But as there's going to be a split pinch coming in, that information from CH needs to come through quickly.
Push out over towards the right. Inside of the hill. Wallbang shots in from Aspect. Pistol challenge over the top. That is egregious on so many different levels. Will somehow keep himself alive. Challenge back out towards the left. Has one more over the top. His teammates are there for the help. And now it's the deep spawn in the garage from SIUE. Concordia St. Paul inside of P5 looking to garner significant time for themselves. Will they be the first team over the triple-digit mark? Find out in just a second. And Dolan makes some work as he pushes forward.
Time will set empty, but you know his players pushing through time. Dolan gonna find a couple before being taken down. Cozy gonna snap for another as well, but Sin with the cleanup. That'll let the Cougars get in time for the moment. Now as it is back and forth, a 10-point game as you are simply trying to stay alive in time. A couple kills over the top. Sin goes for 3. As time sits clear for now. 10 seconds remaining. It is all favoring the Cougars. We have a tied one essentially, Alex, going into the next set.
Close as you'd hope for the first 5. Back into P1, SIUE was the team who was able to get significant time in first. Over towards P4, D-Day doesn't spot him out. Jakers on a good cross help for the player Hedges. Will allow Ball to step in through Ticket, unfortunately finds an early exit. Now if you look back to Cozy, he's just trying to hold down middle map. Allowing his teammates to sit in the time for just a moment. 44 seconds left here on P1. 104 to 104, dead even as we go here first. As 2 kills go the way of Dolan. D-Day will slide back around. Dude, these snap chows on him are so good. 14 and 15 doesn't tell the full story. He's been frying the series.
Crucial 2 pieces at so many turns of the map, and now trying to continue to safeguard P1 for the moment and collects another double. The triple not going to come in because the reload does instead. But that leaves a clear lane for his teammates to get on time. Look to press this line forward. You clear out Ticket once again. Sure, more players looking to fly. And Fry, Aspect will get a couple more as he's been good for here. The Chow coming in also, so scrap time going to go their way. It's going to be a 15-point deficit or so going into P2, and you still have numbers if you are the Cougars leaning this way, but you want to work hedge control. You want to make sure these players can't pinch time quickly. That won't be the case. Now, another split coming in.
Oh, dude, Aspect was fed up. He said, all right, dude, if I'm just going to get fried by ARs, I'm pulling out one myself. And for the time it worked in middle map. Here on the back end of P2, though, the spawns are going to be close on the opposite end for D-Day as he got a flank on through. So Concordia St. Paul going to have to force this through the front door. 2 players trying to force their way out through middle map. Make it 3. Sin trying to find those few lagging players. Up towards the top, it's a 2-2 split. 24 HP from Aspect as he tries to drop down back over towards middle. Could get good timing and absolutely will. It's a break in through the front, though, from SIUE. Aspect drops on down. Concordia St. Paul with 25 seconds left should be able to escape with the majority of the time on the back end here. But it's still going to be these flying players. And the spawns flip out. This could be bad for the Cougars.
And you're just relying on Dolan to find at least 1 kill here just to turn a couple heads. That won't be the case. He gets snapped on quickly. And now as the retreat comes in for Jakers, he's going to try to back up, lock down spawns, try to stop this push coming through mid-map. He's going to have a lot of info here that there will be a couple of players. CH going to collect, going to try to get the kill, but Jakers able to get 1. Can he collect a second? That is going to be a question we are going to be left hanging to find the answer for, as he's going to back down now. We got players sitting on time for SIUE, but Jakers here. Big opportunity to shut this push down.
Oh, he didn't realize that there was going to be 2 hitting through middle map. Dolan up the escalators. Like back on Rio from last year. Into the hill. Dolan was the one who was able to sit most time here on P3 the last time through. Looks back to the top side of the staircase. Knows one's here, and the spawns are going to be close from Concordia St. Paul. They haven't pushed directly down to him yet, but here comes the first challenge. Aspect straight sprinting. Balla there for the cleanup. CH the last one in. Has to switch out to the pistol as he ran out of bullets, and the Jackal. Still a very closely contested game. 8 points the advantage. CSP trying to extend that just a touch further, but it's all about the setup on P4. CSP got 60 the last time through. Can SIUE cause the same damage on the opposite end?
And when's the call in just to back up and get stage control? You still have Dolan trying to push this and make sure they get some scrap time here as they find themselves in a 15-point deficit. He will spawn safe. Sin going to be the AR with stage control, and this is going to be everything for that first bit of time cleanly. Is now you're trying to take up space, trying to get hedge control here and not let them push through P1 for free. Cozy going to try to get 1, but again, the comps coming in. How quickly can you clean up these kills? It'll be CSP to strike first.
Cozy doesn't realize there's one directly below him. He'll drop down on the worst timing. Somehow stays alive. Swaps to the pistol, but Dolan chases through and walks away with a gunfight win. 8-point advantage, yet it flips back to the opposite side. SIUE now in control. The Cougars trying to fly their way forward. Sim will pop a double thanks to the Semtex grenade that helps him out, but the car blows up alongside of him. Ambulances are there to help. Unfortunately, this time it'll make him fall, kills him off, and now it's D-Day in the middle of the map looking with the AR over the top. Points continuing to be accrued here for SIUE. CSP trying to break in for the final 20.
Gunfight's coming down to simply who can get better timing on a head glitch, and it's back and forth. Now you get the peek out from stage. The cleanup does come in 3 for 1 in the feed, so that will be clearance, that will be scrap time. It'll at least cut the deficit for a moment. Jakers needs to collect this kill and does. That allows them to push through this BS&D side and try to pinch time. You're down in the feed. You can get numbers quickly if you find these kills. You can't let SIU get back in the mix, but here they look to do just that.
No way! Superman dives out the window, snaps with the pistol onto Dolan. Aspect gives CSP inside of P4. CH almost takes out a teammate. Over the top of the SMG. 23 and 24. Trying to find players off a spawn. They'll do just that. Ball is soaking the hill time, though, for the moment. And with the Golden Bears down 11 points, it's SIUE who pop back in. Hill will sit vacated for just a moment. 35 seconds of time left to fight for between these two teams. Jakers will slide his way forward. Gets cut down. Everybody dead except for player 5. And Bala still continuing to make his havoc known.
Blue goes to feed. Quiet goes battlefield for a moment now. As this next wave of kills going to come in, it has been a red hot, lightning fast hard point here between these two teams. Tied game going into the next set of rotation. 15 seconds of scrap time left to be grabbed. You're still going to fight for it. If you're either side of things, Bala not able to get the kill. Ascend finds 3 to get them at least a few seconds. And I've seen this film before, Alex. We are tied going into yet another set of rotations.
Deja vu after the second set. In middle map, guess who's there? SIUE to get the first bit of time. 205 to 200. 5 points of separation. The contestant from Aspect as he looks out towards middle map. Tries to slide over towards the left-hand side. Knows the player's over by ticket. Dalton will lay down for a moment, and the lead switches yet again. That's probably the 20th time we've said that throughout this map thus far. Trying to force a game 5 here is CSP, the 15th ranked team on upset alert from SIUE. Dolan will slide challenge, back out over towards the globe. Somehow walks away with his life in tow, and with 2 to 1 in the middle of the map, we trade places yet again.
Make it 21, lead change in the Cougars. Back and forth we go. So plenty of time to fight for. Aspect gonna collect a couple, and like you said, that submachine gun was tired of getting fried, and he has continued to make his presence felt here after 35 and 27. Not able to get one. A couple good down in the feed, so mid-map still up for grabs, and CH on the flank. Could play spoiler, could get his team scrap time, but the team nade comes in. Sure, D-Day gets the at least unrelated trade for the moment, but that allows you an opportunity to lose 10 or so seconds of scrap time, and you're in horrible positioning for P2.
On a close game like this, those 10 seconds of scrap time, Amber, could be the difference on a win and a loss or a game 5 coming up next. Dolan helping out his teammates. Here they go through the front side of P2. 50 seconds, plenty of time to win the game here, but it's going to be a pinch back to the spawn side for CSP. 2 kills go the way of the Cougars. Now trying to flood their way forward even further. Bala, good shots onto Dolan, but must play his life here for a moment as CH with the SMG will push up. Jakers spotted out. Information given to the side of SIUE. Doesn't spot one out in the corner. They'll sit on the hill.
With 10 seconds remaining, the contest has to come in. The kills have to fly into a pinstripe kill feed. Not quite good enough. Who's going to go big here?
D-Day on the right-hand side will snap for the second kill there. 5 seconds left here. CSP still trying to flood their way in. Dolan will snap for 3 in a row. SMG presence on the map of red card. Contention in. We'll try to slide around. They stay alive for a moment, but the spawn's still close. You have to look across the map, though, because with 10 seconds left, it's Sin on the rotation. He's there for P3.
Oh, and no one's aware that he could be here yet. They have to play together. They have to find this kill and child at the same time. This could be over stairway. You're going to win it if you said you need to get this trade quickly. New Hill pops. 2 seconds to go.
1v2. Sin is here. It's a contestant on the point. Over towards the right side. CSP are in. Here come the players from SIUE. They're trying to force their way down the staircase. D-Day is in. Contestant's still here, but they'll sit on the point just long enough to get to 250. The Cougars will upset CSP. The 23rd ranked team inside of the CCL wins 3-0.
Rotation. Margin of error, all of what that last push comes down to. Sin collecting that first kill gives enough time for his teammates to hike across the map, and they do just that. Dolan with a big 3-piece baller with another fantastic performance that unfortunately goes for the loss. And Alex, the real telling moment for me was as P2 was kicking off. You get picked off mid-map, so you're spawning essentially outside of P3 if you're SIUE, and it looks like CSP have a great opportunity to garner 15-20 seconds cleanly just by holding irons. But on transition through stage side, they play bully ball, and they find 3 that allows them to push in the time, push back spawns, and get, what is that? Essentially 218 to 248 score line that they see. You're only able to get 16 seconds off of an opportunity where you won rotation, and that's just something you cannot let happen. Sin, again, gives you the bailout, but that's because you did so much work just pushing that out from the front, pushing that spawn back with numbers. the Cougars play a P2 rotation that they lost flawlessly, and looking like a DNA helix. Here, Alex for us, and I mean, God will do that to us, and what a map for.
All right, well, we've had a moment to digest that map 4, and if you were watching this series from start to finish, even though this game doesn't get to a game 5, that's probably the best way it could have ended. On a map 4 of red card, back and forth, quite literally the entire time. Both sets of rotations, when we got back to P1, were within 2 points of one another. SIUE, though, the upset on the number 15th ranked CSP Esports. Concordia St. Paul will fall for the first time this year. Not only were they handed their first map loss throughout this season, but they were handed a loss in each and every mode, so a blemish that will follow them forward. Good news is, plenty of time to correct the mistakes. It was a close series through and through, but the Search and Destroy and the the control on Vault, I think those are the two that need the most work, specifically, though, that Hacienda Search and Destroy. Yes, it's the first time they've played it together inside of the CCL season. If we've expanded the map pool any deeper, that will be obviously left up to time to tell as we get towards the later portions of the season. But the top 25 committee going to be feeling good about themselves after this one. They have something else to move up in the rankings. Maybe they didn't get exactly right here between both of these two teams, but again, as evenly matched as this series was all the way through, I don't think anybody's going to come knocking.
4 maps, and within each of them, like you said, tell a story, maybe a couple pain points here and there, like you had called the map 2. Regardless, CSP will be making a comeback of sorts. This is not a doom and gloom loss for them, like you said, with a couple of maps, like you said. I believe you said the Skyline, or was it the red card where they hadn't played just yet? But either way, the Hacienda also was one that, again, they could have been testing out the map pool, and earlier the better, right, to try and get that in the rotation. That's not a guarantee to say that, oh, SIUE won because they were testing it. Just something to know, right? If you haven't played it and it gets in a series early on, yeah, it could be something they're trying to feel out, especially against a team that has played it as much as the Cougars have. So it was a great rep for them. It was one that, again, they lost sight of once really the Cougars got rolling. But regardless, a series, Alex, that we will remember for quite some time as far as these teams making it into this divisional split, this top cut type of fight that we're going to be in for the entirety of the year. A barn burner here for the second one tonight.
Absolutely. Hey, we said it was one of the most anticipated matchups of the night, if not the most anticipated matchup. And again, SIUE will play upset, and spoiler for the CSP undefeated party as they improve to 10-0 on the season. They will play their final match of the week off stream. Coming up next on stream, though, we've got Buckeye Cod going up against Midway Esports in a Midwest Metro showdown of the top cut. One of those two teams will continue to improve forward. Buckeye Cod still undefeated, so stick around. We got one more match here on the Monday for the CCL.